Well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watts2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. And I don't know how you take the time to watch the Jets right about now, because these games, the Jets just keep finding new and inventive ways to lose games, whether it's getting absolutely strafed, whether it's coming back but never managing to complete the comeback, whether it's a back and forth and making the pivotal mistake to give the game away. The New York Jets have lost 3 games this year, and with the 14 that they have coming up, be sure they will find many new and inventive ways to give games away. But what I want to do, it's been a little over 24 hours since the Jets lost this game to Tampa Bay. And every time they lose, I just can't bear to come on right away and talk about it, because I just can't be rational. The fact that I'm doing it one day after is actually a step in the right direction for me. But I want to try to put this in somewhat of a positive perspective here. I want to talk about 3 things the Jets can do this week before the Miami game next Monday to build a little bit of credibility, to give themselves a better chance to win a game. And this is really going to focus on the defense specifically, because the truth of the matter is there are certain players who just need to play better. Olufashano needs to pass block better, but when you only have quarterbacks that can only do so much, when you're limited as you are with Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, when you legitimately don't have a second wide receiver, and when the running backs are only doing so much with the holes they have for them, I'm not really spending much time here killing the offense. But I believe the defense is completely underachieving from what they should be doing. So let's talk specifically about the defense and what they could do. Number 1, I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. I'm going to say it slowly. Bench Michael Clemens. I can't watch this guy anymore. Number 72, my goodness. It is absolutely infuriating watching him. All you need to do is watch the last run, the big run by Baker Mayfield at the end of the game, which essentially got the Buccaneers practically in a field goal range, where he's getting blocked by Cade Otton, a mid-level tight end who is definitely not known for his blocking ability, and he's pushing Clemens around like he's a backup punter or something like that. Michael Clemens, this absolute stiff of a player. He has played 110 defensive snaps this season. He has 2 penalties and only 1 pressure on the quarterback. He has 2 missed tackles, 1 solo tackle, no sacks, no quarterback hits. He's in there for his run defense. Maybe, the not getting much of a pass rush. Maybe he's in there for the run defense. Okay. When he's on the field, the Jets allow 5.5 yards per carry. When he's off the field, they allow 2.7 yards per carry. They cut it in half when he's not on the field. Tell me again, what does this guy do well for the Jets? I haven't figured it out yet. He's got good abs. That's about it. But he's in the last year of his contract, of his rookie contract. He's already 28 years old. It's not like he's 24 and he's developing. He's learning how to play the game. No, he's 28. He's not getting any better. He's not going to get any better. The Jets cut him. They say $3.4 million. So you know what? Woody, Darren, Aaron, get out the mustard and relish. Eat the money, all $191,024 of it, because that's all it's going to cost as far as a cap hit. Suck it up and get rid of this guy. Get rid of him. Play Eric Watts. Bring him up from the practice squad. Promote a Peyton Page from the practice squad. Something. Eric Watts is not the most dynamic player, but I know he can play against the run well, and I know he's strong. Give him a chance. We know what Clemens is. He makes dumb mistakes, and he isn't skilled enough physically to make an impact play for you. Enough of him. Number 2, play A.Z. Thomas and keep Malachi Moore in the secondary. The secondary this year has been abysmal. I can't even, I've been a Sauce Gardner defender, but even I have to admit his play is nowhere near the standard that we saw the first 2 years. Brandon Stevens, enough said. I don't even need to talk about Brandon Stevens. every Jet fan to this point has ripped Brandon Stevens like he's the new version of Trumaine Johnson. And they wouldn't be all that far off. But the Jets drafted 2 players, a cornerback in A.Z. Thomas, a safety in Malachi Moore. They need to stay in. A.Z. Thomas, if you care about Pro Football Focus, was the highest graded Jet with a 76.0 PFF grade. Thomas filled in late in the game for 10 snaps, was targeted twice, no catches allowed. Malachi Moore started for an injured Tony Adams, who we never, ever need to see again. Okay, maybe like in a backup role for a couple of snaps a game, but as far as the starter goes, no mo, goodbye. Moore started, was targeted once, graded very well in the running game, and I want to give Malachi Moore a little bit of credit here. There was a play. This was the play before the Jets had the blocked field goal and returned for a touchdown by Will McDonald. The Buccaneers are facing a 3rd and 5 with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock. And on a run play to Bucky Irving, big outside threat, got some speed. Moore hustles all the way down the line, and he finishes the tackle, makes an excellent tackle right before Irving can begin to reach out for the first down yardage. Buccaneers are forced to try the field goal. It gets blocked. Sadly, that clutch play wound up being wasted. Will McDonald sends his regards. He knows how it feels. So keep playing Thomas and Moore. I know the Jets invested a lot in Brandon Stevens, so it might take some time for them to finally glue his ass to the bench. But I don't understand this. Quantez Stiggers can't even get an opportunity at cornerback. A.Z. Thomas is just starting to get an opportunity. If there's accountability with this franchise, you play the players that earn good minutes. And Brandon Stevens hasn't earned anything. His contract is the only reason he's starting. But I got more confidence in Thomas and Quantez Stiggers than I do Brandon Stevens right now. And Tony Adams, he'll be done. He's on a 1-year deal. He was a restricted free agent. I want Malachi Moore starting the rest of the way. Let him and Cisco play. I know some people have been down on Andre Cisco. Let the two of them play together. Let's just see what you have. Let's just do that. And the third thing, this is more of an overall philosophy thing. Steve Wilks, who is quickly coming under fire. Now, I am never going to say fire a coach after 3 games. I'm certainly not going to say fire a coordinator after 3 games. But clearly, there are a number of players on this defense who are not living up to their capability. And Steve Wilks, if he can, needs to make defensive adjustments to maximize the strengths of his players. Now, that might be benching certain players and playing other players like I talked about, but I'm talking about from a philosophical perspective. The Jets are reading and reacting. What we are watching is a passive defense, and you have some playmakers. Quincy Williams, we'll see how his shoulder injury is. Jamian Sherwood, the entire secondary. Outside of, I'd say, Quinn Williams and Will McDonald as a pass rusher, Harrison Phillips, he's been okay. Dwan Briggs, those guys have been okay. But if you talk about the linebackers and the secondary, has anybody been playing up to their level of capability? Has anybody been doing that? Because I can't think of one. I just refuse to believe Jamian Sherwood had an amazing year last year, signed a contract, and forgot how to play football. I just don't believe it. I think he's still figuring out the system. One thing that I really believe coming into this year is that the Jets had a top 5 linebacking year. Certainly a top 5 linebacking duo between Quincy and Jamian. Third linebacker, major drop-off. But even Quincy and Jamian look ordinary. The best coordinators figure out how to use the players they have and maximize their ability, even if it means they don't run their system all the damn time. Because I'm tired of hearing people say how overrated certain players are in this secondary. Not when it's a collective failure like this. We know there are weaknesses. Third linebacker, depth at edge, the safety play up to this point. But the fact that this defense has given up 86 points through 3 games, 86. I know the Jets have given up 93, but you got to leave out the pick 6 that Tyrod threw. All right. The defense has given up 86 points. Steve Wilks and Aaron Glenn need to get together and realize that what they're doing is not working. And they have to get this figured out before they head down to Miami, and they got to face Tua, A-Chain, Hill, Waddle. In other words, an offense, even though the Dolphins haven't won a game this season, that's an offense that's got some speed. Can the Jets keep up with that team? Do they have the defenders to keep up with them? I don't know. And I'm genuinely worried about where this is heading. Yeah, the Jets will probably win some games later on in the year, but will they mean anything? Like, are the Jets going to have any wins this entire year that can legitimately excite the fan base? Not just, we won, ooh, No. A win that we can legitimately feel good about. Doesn't seem that way. But there are things that can be done, especially with this defense, to help turn things around. And I hope that we see a different Jets team, not just a team that's on fire, but playing fundamentally sound football. Don't beat yourselves. And it's not even so much the penalties, it's the missed tackles. 19 missed tackles. I'm sorry, I just continue to believe this comes down to scheme. I refuse to believe that you have this many good players who have suddenly forgotten how to play football together. That's just my thoughts. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to come by Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for the live show. We'll get into this a whole lot more. We'll begin to preview the Dolphins game as well. Everybody, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.